I want to talk about why EMRs are really so ineffective for the small operator. Now, if I was running a clinic operation with 100 locations and 1,000 clinicians, I need uniformity. I need something that's going to kind of bring everything under one umbrella so that we have the same system so we can train everybody on the same system. But that's not you or I. That's not where we live. That's not the competitive advantage our business model offers. Whether you're a mobile therapist or a single owner operator or a private practice owner with one or two locations, our competitive advantage is agility. It's speed. It's the ability to adapt and change and grow with different situations. And so when you're looking at a large like a web PT, a Hino, they're phenomenal. I'm not taking anything away from what they've been able to accomplish. But what I would say is it might not be the right solution for you at this stage of business development. And specifically, one of the questions that came up in my Medicare group the other day was how do you best handle different payer guidelines, different regulations? So my feeling is technology has become so accessible, so inexpensive. Why do we not have customized documentation systems based on payer? And if you're not dealing with any payers beside Medicare, Medicare has clearly stated guidelines on what's required for documentation, what needs to be in an eval, what needs to be in a plan of care, in a daily note, in a progress report, discharge summary. So we have created kind of a customized checklist and documentation protocol specific for Medicare. Now, because we are in network with all payers, we also have customized protocols for different insurance companies. So let me share my screen and I'll show you what I'm talking about. On the screen here, and this is how you can do it if you want to do it. Landmark Physical Therapy is one of those organizations that requires their documentation or something similar. So if I go to their template, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it a little better. This is their PTOT treatment plan. Real basic, patient name, member ID, all the information that the payer is saying they want you to submit. Now, is this exactly what you want as the clinician? Probably not. Does that mean you can't use your own forms? Absolutely not. You can. I'm just saying you're weighing risks and benefits here. You're saying, okay, the payer is telling me what guidelines they want me to follow. I can choose not to follow them, which raises my risk of complications. We recently had a situation here where a Humana plan rejected one of our daily notes because the documentation didn't support what services we build. It was a time issue. We had to do a little supplementation. We resolved the issue. It wasn't a big deal. But at the end of the day, it was wasted administrative time, headache, hassles that really had no benefit. So, what I would say in this situation is just go with what's available. If the payer is putting out guidelines, follow those guidelines to the T. If you want more information in the medical record, then go ahead and add a supplemental document. None of the payers are saying you're not allowed to collect more information. They're just saying maybe we don't want the information that you're collecting. So go ahead, look for your specific payers. I'm going to show you another example. Let's go to let's go to New York State. I know these guys have it. Workers' compensation, physical therapy form. And if we click on this again, workers' comp, PTOT documentation form. For example, there needs to be a workers' comp case number. It's the same here in Ohio. BWC wants a workers' comp case number. If it's a Medicare patient, I don't have a workers' comp case number. Don't make that an option in the documentation, right? Workers' comp, there's going to be an employer. Medicare beneficiary isn't likely going to have an employer. I don't need that in the documentation. So I'm going to have a Medicare specific evaluation, daily note, progress report template. I'm going to have a state workers' comp daily note, evaluation, progress report template. I can have it for Landmark. I can have it for Humana and Aetna and Med Mutual. Even if I choose to be an out of network provider, I can still go to these guidelines, use them as resources. I can pull pieces of it that I think are important, and maybe I put it across all of my eval, plan of care, progress report templates. But the idea is use the technology as it exists, use the technology to help us become more agile, more nimble. Our competitive advantage, just look at it like this for just a minute. Let's say, on average, and I don't have numbers for this, I have no idea, I'm just making this up. But let's say a typical clinic might receive, um, I don't know, 10 denials or rejections in a calendar year, right? Okay, so that is 10 episodes that you or your admin or somebody is going to have to dive in, get into this, like figure out what's going on, why the rejection happened, figure out how to establish policy to change it so you never get that rejection again, all of this stuff. Even if you're looking at 3 hours, 4 hours per episode, that's 40 hours. That's an entire week worth of work that you're putting into resolving these issues when you could have simply gone to the payer website, found the specific form that they said, hey, this is what we want you to use, and just used it, integrated it into your system. Most states, most areas only have a handful of major payers. So it's not like you're talking about 100 different insurance contracts. Like here in Ohio, for the most part, we have Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, we have United Healthcare, we have Humana. Those are probably our three main commercial plans. Obviously, we have Medicare, we have workers' compensation, we have CareSource, which is a managed care plan for Medicaid. I would say those six account for well over 95% of our payer mix. Now, we're going to get the random, private insurance that somebody has from a different state. We'll address that when it comes up. But if I can have six basic templates, policies, procedures specific to my six main payers, I'm going to be in good shape. And I think when you hear these stories about therapists and clinics that are constantly working on denials and rejections and fighting with insurance companies, it's really just because they're not using the right documentation forms. They're not doing things correctly. They haven't reviewed the policies put out by the payer. The payer pretty clearly says, this is what we want. You have a choice to follow it or not. You have a choice to read it or not. Um, but I would definitely say, from a competitive advantage perspective, your edge over the big guys is that you have the ability to adjust, to adapt, to create systems that make sense for you, your business, your clients. Guys, let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you have customized eval form templates that you use based on, is it a cash patient? Is it an insurance patient? Is it Humana, Med Mutual, Aetna? I'd just like to see what other people are doing. I think as you share your stories, people watching these videos get a chance to see what other providers are doing, because we just need to share information and ideas. Your idea, your information might spark an idea in another clinician that in turn might create a new system that you can utilize and benefit from in the future. So guys, as always, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here. And if you have questions, post them in the comments below. All right, guys, my camera is telling me it's time to go. I'll catch you on the next video.